You mentioned capability systems, and this is something that we talk a lot about, the difference between capability systems and core competencies. But I'd be interested in your view in terms of what is the difference between those two and how are companies migrating from core competencies to capability systems?
I think the capabilities-driven strategy that that Booz has been articulating is about one, certainly starting with a capability, which is not the old core competencies concept. It is really something that I know how to do, but something that I know how to do well and in a differentiated way. In most industries, knowing one thing is not enough. It's usually having a series of things that I put together, hence your question about a series of capabilities. In this day and age, if there's one thing that I know how to do, one technology, one selling technique, one asset play, that's usually going to be copied and mimicked fairly quickly. But if I can put together a mix of things that in fact others just can't figure out the secret sauce, can't figure out the way to play, or certainly can't replicate it very easily, now I've got something that has some endurance over time. So that's another difference between the old notion of a capability and what we're talking about. And then finally is just, as we've done throughout this conversation, is rarely saying the word capability without having the word advantaged precede it. You'll go to a company, some of our chemical clients, and we'll say, what are your capabilities? And you'll get a list of 30 things, including polymer chemistry and manufacturing. And yeah, those are all capabilities, but those are not advantage capabilities. That's just entry stakes to be able to play the game. What's advantaged, and what are we building on?
Yeah, this is, I think, a problem that we often see is that list is often 30 things. And when it's 30 things, it's very challenging to sort through what's really important, what's critical to my strategy, critical to what I'm doing to create value in the market, and what are some things that are maybe table stakes, or maybe things that I don't need but I'm investing in because my competitors have them. I think sorting through that challenge is very difficult. Any advice on beginning that process of identifying the few that matter, the some that might be required but I don't have to be great at, and the others that may not be important?
First of all, simply asking that question that way starts to get you down the path, as opposed to the old core competencies notion which generated long lists. Secondly, obviously working outside in and looking at our customers and our competitors and what they tell us they value and why do they buy, why do they do business with us, what are our competitors trying to mimic, begins to give you some hints as to where that lies. You think about if it failed, or if I had to outsource, or if I had to do this in some different way, what would I be comfortable giving up? And frankly, what would I never really want to give up? So there are a number of ways to ask the question to begin to triangulate in. But at the end of the day, I'm looking for economic advantage or customer acquisition advantage as the touchstones that say this thing really does confer advantage for me.
That's great. Well, Gerald, thank you so much for your time today. This has been a great discussion.
Thank you.